my inspiration and the things that kind of visually I was thinking about when I put this story together. As I tell you the story, think about the style of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, kind of an old, kind of dirty, nautical this guy in the spacesuit. Hopefully the images will be passed around so everyone can see what I mean. I'll hold one up for everyone to see though. So the kind of feel, I don't think it has to be in black and white. I'm happy with it being in color, but if it were going to be in color, it would be very muted, desaturated. Anyway, that's kind of the style I had in mind, which I think could lend itself to be really cool and interesting. So the story is about a very old man in space, in a spaceship, and he's traveling through the stars. He's been traveling for probably 40, 50 years, and he is carrying cargo, which is a dozen or 2 dozen cryogenically frozen bodies, people that are alive. They're still alive, they're just cryogenically frozen. His goal is to deliver them safely to a paradisiacal planet somewhere out in a different galaxy. So it's obviously sci-fi. It wouldn't take 40 years to get to another sun. But he, on his way, when we first see him, the first thing we see him doing is staring at a woman that has been cryogenically frozen. She's in one of the chambers. He's just looking at her. And it's just a back and forth kind of a moment between the two. And then he has a vision of her where she is thought she's warm and inviting and very beautiful. And while he's daydreaming, suddenly there's a beeping, and he wakes up and he looks out to the front of the ship. It's a very small ship. This whole film would be basically one environment, which is just kind of this enclosed ship with these chambers lining the sides of the ship, and those are providing the main motivational light to the scene. He sees a beeping light on the front of the ship and goes up to it, and it says begin landing procedures. And as he looks up, he sees the planet come into view in his window, in the front window. And it's huge and beautiful and gorgeous and awe-inspiring, and he's completely expecting it to be there because he's been waiting for this moment for 40 years. He looks back and smiles at the woman in the chamber, and she's just staring forward still. He begins flipping switches and hitting buttons and getting things ready and tying things down. And remember, it's kind of a dirty environment, so he's taping things up, getting things ready for the descent. The ship begins to descend into the atmosphere, and suddenly it starts vibrating, shaking violently, and he realizes there's something wrong here. At this point, he's put on his spacesuit. He doesn't know what's wrong. Suddenly there's an explosion, and one of the main engines has exploded, and the ship begins careening violently towards the surface of this planet. In terror, he searches aimlessly to find some sort of solution to save his brood, these people that he's trying to protect and to bring to safety. There's really nothing he can do to save the ship, and he kind of realizes that, and so he turns and he sees on one of the cryo chambers there is an option, a lever that will let you do an emergency evacuation of that cryo chamber. So he runs to the first one. It's a man, some guy, he doesn't